Hey, how you doing? This is Adam Post, publisher of more than 1,000 comic books and marketing expert covering woke holiday months canceled, Pride Month, Black History Month, and Women's History Month. All gone. Let's get into the story. Before we do, please be sure you are subscribed to the channel. Click the bell for notifications. Give me a thumbs up. I really appreciate you guys. Okay, from Breitbart. California City cancels Pride Month, Black History Month, Women's History Month. From the Orange County Register, monthly heritage identity celebrations in Huntington Beach will be replaced with a focus on the city's history. From the Voice of OC, Huntington Beach nixes Black History Month, other ethnic celebrations as well. This is coming from Huntington Beach, California, one of the last conservative strongholds in California, also known as Surf City, USA. They've opposed the left-wing state of California on various policies, such as beach closures during the coronavirus pandemic, mask and vaccine mandates, sanctuary state laws, and mandatory low-income housing. These are also the guys that shut down the pride flag on city property. Why Huntington Beach will no longer fly the pride flag on city property. And this goes back to February when they pulled the pride flag from city property. Coming from Voice of OC, Huntington Beach City Council members are throwing out their recognition of many ethnic heritage celebrations and replacing them with what one state senator called a whitewashed revisionist history celebration schedule. They are mad. Council members are removing celebrations of Black History Month in February, Women's History Month in March, and other similar celebrations going forward like Pride Month in May, with officials writing the celebration should be free of identity politics, according to the staff report. Quote, "I've been amazed to learn just how much of our rich history I was unaware of," said Councilman Casey McKeon from the dais on Tuesday night. Quote, "We wanted to focus on 12 themes a year instead of dozens to help city staff get on the same page." State Senator Dave Min, a Democrat, called the proposal, quote, "embarrassing and shameful" in a statement Monday on Twitter, the social media website now known as X. Quote, "This is a disgraceful departure from the ideals we should be championing and once again illustrates that this particular Huntington Beach City Council is more interested in earning cheap headlines, which I can certainly appreciate, than actually addressing the issues affecting the lives of Surf City residents," he wrote. The council's Republican majority backed the changes Tuesday night, while the Democrat minority voted against the move. So what stays and what goes? The proposal will establish a new appointed panel to lay out a 12-month history program for the city. Some of the potential themes include the Revolutionary and Civil War Month in August and Black Gold Jubilee honoring the discovery of Oil Month in November. Quote, "All monthly themes hosted by the city must be included in this approved 12-month program and will therefore repeal and supersede all such monthly themes or celebrations previously approved by the council," according to their staff report. The council's minority questioned why those celebrations were being thrown out and wondered why this was a focus of the city council. City Councilman Dan Klamick said the proposal had nothing to do with public policy, called the Calendar and Eagle Scout Project, and said it would effectively kill many celebrations geared towards minorities. Quote, "We have deficits we're going to need to address. We have a homeless issue that we still need to address. We have a lot of big issues, and this is the number one thing we came out with," Klamick said, comparing it to his child's 4th grade project. Quote, "This is not something we should be doing." Yes, but it's something you're going to be doing because you don't have the majority. And enough already with pushing this ideological garbage down the city's throat and trying to get the city to sponsor and normalize it. That's why it's like enough is enough already. You can be who you want to be. But this divisive nonsense of constantly pushing a progressive agenda on everyone really has to stop. Councilwoman Rhonda Bolton also questioned why the city couldn't include their past celebrations with the council's new ones going forward. Quote, "Why does it have to be either the proposed calendar or the existing commemorations? The fact that those are being left out of this proposal says something. That sends a message to the community. I would hope it sends a very clear message. Cut it out already." McKeon and the Republican majority defended their proposal, saying it didn't detract from their work on public policy and that events like Black History Month could always be reintroduced later on. Quote, "I totally think you're overcomplicating it," McKeon said. "That doesn't preclude it from happening next year." Mayor Gracie Vandermark called for a recognition of the Holocaust in January, but other months like Women's History Month, Pride Month, and Black History Month were ultimately left off the 2024 calendar. Councilman Tony Strickland called for a recognition of Juneteenth. The move also didn't pick up support from the city's Historic Resources Board, which wasn't consulted about the new process, and also won't be the governing body deciding what history months move ahead. Kathy Shea, the chair of the Historic Resources Board, resigned at Tuesday night's meeting, saying the council's decision was a clear vote of no confidence. So if things don't go her way, Kathy quits. Okay, good to know. Quote, "I was thunderstruck when I received a copy of the current agenda," Shea said during a public comment. "God knows I'm all about celebrating history, but this is just peculiar." However, previous votes raised questions. This is not the first vote the council's Republican majority has taken that sparked local outrage on what role cities should play in celebrating local diversity. The Huntington Beach City Council majority essentially banned flying the LGBT pride flag and a host of other flags on government property in February by restricting it to only city, state, national, and prisoner of war banners. The majority also voted earlier this year to disband the city's Human Relations Committee aimed at combating hate crimes and hate incidents. At a different meeting, they also voted to eliminate any mention of hate crimes in the human dignity policy. This agenda, the progressive agenda, just creeps into everything. And then they want governments to sponsor it. Not just your federal government, not just your state government, but local city and county governments are supposed to be pushing this agenda for them? No! Tuesday's decision comes months after a report by Groundswell, formerly known as the OC Human Relations Council, found an uptick in hate crimes and incidents across the country, with the brunt of that being directed at the Black, Jewish, and LGBT communities. It also comes amid a national debate that is playing out at local school districts on how the U.S. and world history should be taught and through ethnic studies courses. Because of course this stuff is now all over the schools. Councilman Pat Burns pointed out that other more popular events such as Women's History Month and Pride Month were already being celebrated elsewhere. Quote, "It is being celebrated," Burns said. Helmick interjected, "Just not by Huntington Beach." These are the council members that got voted in. This goes back to December 2022. Huntington Beach's new council majority comes in with priorities, including fighting state mandates. And it's state mandates pushing that woke agenda. And this was one of the first major changes they made, pulling the pride flag from city property. Emotions ran high in City Hall this week as Huntington Beach City Council approved an ordinance that discontinues the flying of the pride flag on city-owned property. Proposed by Council Member Pat Burns, the ordinance only allows the American, California, Orange County, Huntington Beach, and various military flags to be flown on city facilities. Although it does not specifically mention the pride flag in its language, the ordinance reverses a previous council decision to fly the rainbow flag at City Hall for 6 weeks in the spring. The ordinance passed a split 4-3 vote on Tuesday, February 7th, with the new conservative majority. The minority voiced serious disagreement. Quote, "The new majority of folks created a wedge issue and then cowardly brought this forward as trying to simplify government," Helmick said. "It is very disappointing, a step back and a black eye to the city. A flag functions as a message and so does its removal," Moser said. The rainbow stripe banner, which made its debut in 1978, is a symbol of the gay, lesbian, bisexual, transgender, and queer communities. The council would have to vote to allow the pride flag to fly on city property facilities ever again. Burns said the ordinance is not about removing the pride flag, but instead, in his view, promoting unity. And Burns says this, quote, "I have a nephew and niece that are both gay and I love them dearly. The flags that we have that represent our governments is what is important to unify us," he said. "It has nothing to do with segregating. It's recognizing that we are one. By definition, inclusion represents everyone equally," McKeon said, arguing that flags other than those representative of the country, state, city, or military, such as the pride flag, do not represent every resident equally. Helmick said the council's decision could cost the city its ability to host certain events during the 2028 Summer Olympics in Los Angeles. Huntington Beach is planning a bid to host surfing, skate, and BMX competitions during the Olympics. Quote, the fact that we're going to have to change the city ordinance to fly the Olympic flag is not going to be good in our talks with the International Olympic Committee and the U.S. Olympic Committee, Kalnick said. By midday Tuesday, ahead of the council's decision, the city clerk said she received about 275 emails regarding the item, 228 of which were in opposition to Burns' proposal and 46 in support. Most of the chamber broke out in boos after the vote was announced. Earlier in the evening, several dozen members of the community came forward to share their thoughts on the ordinance. Quote, at a time when hate and discrimination against the LGBT community and other marginalized groups is at alarming levels, it is more important than ever that our elected officials make clear that we are all welcomed and cherished, Kelly Jones, a spokesperson for Senator Dave Mins, said at Tuesday's meeting. But one resident who supported Burns' proposal said, quote, Huntington Beach is inclusive, and the notion we need a flag to say that is absurd. Huntington Beach, aka Surf City, USA, is pushing back against the woke agenda, and it looks like they're winning. Let me know what you think of all this in the comments below. Always love to see your ideas. Please be sure you are subscribed to the channel. Click the bell for notifications, give me a thumbs up, and I'll see you again soon with another video. And if I don't see you, I will miss you.